Here we go then. Green flags flashing all over the track. 5 red lights on top of the screen. And we are away for Slav Talk Racing, and it's a pretty decent start by Mental Sun. He will lead into turn 1 ahead of the Mercedes. Mr. Towers and Arimus have had a bad start. It's a great start by Flowalob, and straight in the wall. That was Mr. Towers in the wall straight off the bat. Huge crash for the Haas driver as they all file their way through into the Ciudad del Lago. That was huge. We saw a Haas car dart across the track as the Aston Martin of Flubberlob losing ground to Arimus, and Arimus getting through at Ferragura, and X-Man might follow him as very tricky situation for Flubberlob, losing a couple. Gonna go back down the order, down the inside for Simples on Allen in the Haas. Well, he's making the move stick. We have a Mercedes off, that is Christy, who is off just before the Bico to Pato corner. Meanwhile, we have Allen, who nearly spins out of Junshao. That's going to let Anarchy go through. We have the Ferrari of Allers also not nearly spinning as well at the bottom of the screen. Enters the podium position as Flobberlob, looking like he's struggling still. So X-Man entered the podium position, and Flobberlob capitalised on Arimus's mistake. And now the first of the McLarens are going to have a go at him. The Chrome McLaren looking to have a go at the White Bull, the White Red Bull, as heading out of the Ciudad del Lago and into the Ferragina. Could have a move here by the Alpine, but they are stuck in a DRS train. We have Allers out of the session, and we have a safety car on lap. Look behind, I think the McLaren has gone off at that long corner just before the Junjiao corner. So Floorfast, his day going from bad to worse, and many drivers in the pits. We have Derek Quay, we have Canny Q, we have Allen, we have Raikkonen, we have Mr. Towers, Simples and Christy all in the pits. There is a double stack for the Haas cars. There's the Alpines not double stacking. We have a retirement from Anarchy. Anarchy's out of the session now as well, and he's crashed into the safety car, and another car's out. I think that was chaos. There's a spin for the Aston Martin of Flubberlob. He's spun. Anarchy has crashed, but into the safety car and caused Flubberlob to spin. What chaos was this? Gonna try and find out what's happened here. I'm having a look in the chat logs. The safety car spawned on me, says Anarchy. Luke Anarchy. Absolute pandemonium. As a 10-second penalty for the V-Carb of Simples. Loads of cars have not even noticed. As now heading over the line, loads of cars have overtaken ahead of Gush here. As down the inside for X-Man. Bold move. Getting ahead of Derek Quayle on the exit of turn 2. Great stuff. It's round for Quayle. Quay is round at turn 2. Goes from 5th to 10th. Incredible stuff. So Quayle is out. Meanwhile, the battle for the lead as there's contact between Christy and Silent Assassin. But the move for the lead, done by Flobberlob. He gets ahead of the German Mercedes car. The British Aston Martin leading ahead in the Belgian Grand Prix. The Brackley-based Mercedes team, representing the German brand, overtakes the Canadian-based team running the British brand. What has happened here with Silent Assassin? He nearly has a crash there. Luckily, the ghosting mode stopping any crash from happening. Safety features in the F1 game are unparalleled compared to in real life due to not actually being at the speeds. But anyway, we have Arimus getting a late race penalty for multiple warnings. That'll hurt his race not at all actually, because he has no one within 3 seconds of him. Going up to the bus stop chicane, this Mercedes of Bias is actually very close to Flubberlob. Is he going to maybe make a move into the Blanchimont corner? No, he backs out of it. He's now going to go to the outside. Flubberlob's in danger of losing the win on the final corner. Round the outside for the Mercedes. He goes for it. Goes a bit wide. Who's going to come out in front? They make contact. They bash wheels. But who will come out in front? It is the Aston Martin of Flubberlob who wins. by barely anything, but he has penalties, which drops him down to third. Bryus wins ahead of Mental Sun, then comes Flobbelob with the penalty, then comes G Shifty ahead of Mr. And it was Bryus trying to get ahead of Flobbelob on that occasion. Now it's Waits' turn to have a go on the inside of Flobbelob. He takes them both off the track. Mental Sun goes through, he takes the ticket to the lead with absolute glee. Flobbelob has lost the lead and not to Waits. Waits has lost 4 positions from that move. He went for the lead and he's now in 5th. That move has cost him dearly. He could, if he was looking behind, he'd see that V-card just getting closer and closer and closer. He's now 1.1 seconds, ever closing on the final lap of this race. Who will come out on top? We have the Williams in front of Allen, who's up to being lapped, and that could give DRS to Flobbelob, hasn't it? No, it hasn't. It hasn't given DRS to Mental Sun as well, so he's kept the gap to Mental Sun. Meanwhile, Raikkonen, just looking at that battle, it doesn't look like he's going to get ahead of an Olds anytime soon, so we're not going to cut to it until the very last moment of the race. But heading out of turn 5 into turn 6, Flobbelob, what a strategy and what a performance he's done today. And I don't want to jinx anything in case he goes off, but it looks like he has it under control. The Aston Martin on the one-stop strategy by 0.4 of a second clinches the win. That checkered flag couldn't have come sooner for Flobbelob, as that must have been heart in mouth. One more lap and I reckon Mental Sun could have taken the win of this race. But Flobbelob, third time lucky, takes his first win in Slav. And for the Italian Grand Prix, it's away! And it's a decent start by Flobbelob. Mental Sun might have had the jump, and he has. Mental Sun's got the jump on Flobbelob. He'll have a roll on him heading into turn 1. As there's a bit of contact there between the leaders. The Ferrari and the McLaren are side by side as well. G Shifty, Graham Shifty down the inside. Mental Sun down the inside at Curva Grande. Side by side at over 180 miles an hour towards the Rossia chicane. Downshifting, who can break the latest? Who can keep the most momentum? They're still side by side on the exit of the Rossia, but it's Flobbelob ahead, and it's G Shifty who has snuck through on the outside to take second lap. Incredible start by G Shifty. As meanwhile we have one of the Alpines making a move on the Mercedes and spinning, and there's a pile up as cars are everywhere. There's Arimus has got hit in that, as nearly 3 wide further back, but the Alpine of who was it, Alex M, having contact and spinning in front of the pack. Arimus runs into him and breaks his front wing. Meanwhile Alex M and Henk, should I say, both struggling as well. It's drama for the Alpine team and the Red Bull team for 6th place, as G Shifty and Mental Sun swap places again. I didn't see that coming. Mental Sun gets passed by G Shifty again, and now they're side by side on the exit of Ascari. Meanwhile, Benold in the Aston Martin has just got ahead of Mag Thatcher, but we're going to keep watching this battle as rounds Parabolica has contact with the Ferrari and the V-Carb. The Mercedes now going to go through. Through goes Bryus in all of this. To the inside of the Ferrari. They're 3 wide heading into turn 1. 4 wide into turn 1. Who's going to be the first one to break? First one to break pays for the meal. And it's Mental Sun to the outside who keeps it in front. Luco Siux up into 3rd. G Shifty has gone from 2nd to 4th, which is where he qualified. And Bryus is now all over the back of... in front of the drivers. And we're away for Slav Talk Racing at Silverstone, and it's a decent start by Mental Sun, who is fighting with Flobbelob round turn 1 and 2, but Flobbelob round the outside of Farm Corner, now down the inside of Village Corner, takes the lead momentarily, but he loses it, and a bit of contact between him and Mental Sun has nearly cost him. Meanwhile, the Alpine of Demonic Assassin side by side with the Williams of Formula Fiend, as Fiend now gets up into the podium places ahead of the Alpine.
Meanwhile, we have Arimus battling with Bryce, who has made a very Haskars. That's Psycho Leds going wide, and that's going to give an opportunity to Anarchy heading through Maggot to Beckett. Meanwhile, Silent Assassin is ahead of Benold, who he nearly spins, he saves it, but in doing so, he loses it out to Arimus. But Arimus now side by side with Mr. Towers. Can Mr. Towers get back? No, he can. Drama there. I was waiting for something to happen, and of course it did. Mental Son, though. He's been the man who has won many races in this championship. He is the definition of domination in this league. Mental Son, you have won the British Grand Prix for Slav Talk Racing League. Nicely done. Meanwhile, who will take second? Formula Feed ahead of Luco Siux. Siux getting out of the final corners now. And it looks like he's going to end up behind Floblob with that penalty. That is such a shame. But Formula Fiend, nice job from you today. You are P2 ahead of ahead of Floblob. Then comes Luco Siux in the Ferrari. Demonic Assassin, after reliability issues, fights back to finish P5 ahead of championship contender Bryce, who has given up a couple points to his rivals. He needs a bit of redemption in the next race. Then comes Arimus, who did get ahead of Mr. Towers and gets up into P6 ahead of Bryce because of Bryce's penalty. Incredible. Meanwhile, G Shifty now is the first McLaren over the line to get up into P9 ahead of Benold, who is behind K9 Cube now. Then comes Anarchy, who gets ahead of Benold as well on penalties. Derek Quay comes home behind Benold in 14th. Then comes Mr. Raikkonen in the Williams. Then comes Psycho Leds, who will lead home the V-Carb of Joey CB. What a race here in the British Grand Prix for Slav Talk Racing League. It's been a pleasure to commentate on, I must say so myself. I hope I haven't lost any footage from that race. If I have, then I apologise in advance. But, yeah, down the pit lane for Alan here. He goes from the medium tyres onto, are they hard tyres? Or are they another set? They look like hard tyres. I can't tell if they're another set of mediums, but that is Raikkonen in the pits. Now coming out, is he going to come out ahead of the Alpine and the Aston Martin? He is, but Christ, he has to defend. This is the battle for last place in this race, and it goes in favour of Benold, who goes up into 13th, Christy in 14th, and incredible stuff there. We have off the track, what else happened to the Alpine of Demonic Assassin? He's slowing down. Reliability issues for Demonic Assassin. The Alpine trundling along the straight. He looks like he's back now, but that could have been a controller disconnection then for the Alpine of Demonic Assassin. Hello Arimus. Arimus, he's the owner of the league. Hello also to hello Luis. That's cool. So, but yeah, we have Arimus. What you've missed so far, you've missed you just missed Derek Quay going into the pits because of me. You're now looking at K9 Q going into the pits as well. But what you've missed so far is Mental Son took pole. He's led from the start. Floblob's been trailing behind him. Bryce started on the softs. He pit and now is in 10th and looking to make amends in this pit stop run here on lap 9 of 29. You've got G Shifty, who was battling with Demonic Assassin, who in turn was battling with Derek Quay, who's just pit. He was also battling with Luco Siux, who has got ahead of both Demonic Assassin and Derek Quay now. And it looks like Luco Siux, he's 1.8 seconds away from G Shifty now, which is good. We also had a lot of spins from Alan and a lot of spins from the now retired Mr. Towers. So 14 cars remain out of the 15 cars that started here. Here we go then. 5 lights coming on in front of the drivers. And for the Spanish Grand Prix, it's away, and Formula Fiend gets away very well indeed. He's right up alongside Flobolob and takes the lead. Heading into turn 1, known as Elf Corner, Formula Fiend in the lead, but the ghosting system in the game is having its moment with the leaders, and now they're side by side. Mental Sun and Formula Fiend side by side for the lead. Who will come out on top? It looks to be Formula Fiend on the outside of the fourth corner, is wide for one of the cars. That looked like Razvan, who's gone off in the background. Meanwhile, still side by side for the lead, on board with Mental Sun momentarily, as he's now going to go around the outside of Formula Fiend. Is he going to make it stick? Yes, he does. Incredible move by Mental Sun. He takes the lead. It took 8 corners to do so, but
we're away for Slav Talk Racing. Will a champion be crowned today? Let's have a look then. As to the inside for Flobbelob, he takes the lead early. He wants to keep his championship hopes alive, and he is showing that. As there's a couple cars wide in the background, as there's a spin, oh my lord, there's cars everywhere. As there's an Aston Martin of Bernard, there's Psycho Let's in the Silent Assassin in the Red Bull, and K9 Cube in the Sauber. 4 cars off in the first few meters of the Grand Prix. Meanwhile, we have Lucas Yux losing a lot of places in that as well, as out of the searching for Demonic Assassin. The Alpine's in the wall at Summerland Corner. That is such a shame for him.
So let's see what happened at the start then. In the back of the pack, round the outside for Bernolds, and he just gets clipped, and that sends a chain reaction through the field.
The rest down the straight. Let's have a look at the battle though between G Shifty and Arimus. Arimus, the Lithuanian, glides by Graham Shifty, and Shifty now has to shift down a position and get used to the dirty airs to the inside for Bernolds, who gets ahead of the championship leader. Bernolds helping his teammate out, gets Mental Sun out of the points. At this rate, the championship would not be decided, and it would have been down to Bernolds. As, contact between Silent Assassin and Psycho Legs. Very close between the pair of them, as heading under the balconies on the exit of turn 8, down Lakeside Drive. Who will come out on top in the battle for the podium? Round the outside for Flobbelob. It could be a good move, and it is a good move. He makes it stick, but it won't be enough for him to claim the championship away from Mental Sun, who gets penalties. That's important as well. But Mike Talent, who comes in and shows that he has the talent in Slav Talk Racing. Let's see what happens then in the midfield, but out of the last corner, Mike Talent is victorious in Melbourne. He goes over the line and takes Mercedes to their first win in Slav Talk Racing. That isn't from Bryce. Then comes Wagsy, then comes Flobbelob, and we look at everyone else going over the line, and Mental Sun is your champion for Slav Talk Racing in this season. Incredible. What a race by Mental Sun. Commiserations to Aston Martin, for Bernolds and Flobbelob for losing the championship. But the V-Carb, the white branded V-Carb of Mental Sun, the man who has been at the front of the pack more than anyone else this season, a deserved champion, and after an absolutely, it felt like a lottery to win this race. But Mike Talon's in the Mercedes, showing that he is a potential champion of the future in Slav Talk Racing. And there he is on the podium, celebrating, filming the moment. The Jamaican makes it happen on debut. That is incredible. We're going to have 2 national anthems to end this race. One for the winner and one for the newly crowned champion, who isn't on the podium sadly, but is a deserved champion. Mental Sun, congratulations. Well, thank you ever so much for watching. But before you go, I have to kind of acknowledge the achievements of 2 people today after that incredible Australian Grand Prix. Firstly, I have to celebrate the achievements of one Mike Talons, the The first Jamaican here in Slav Talk Racing in this season is a talented one at that. Let's hear the national anthem for the race winner of the Australian Grand Prix in Slav Talk Racing League after 29 laps of racing. It's Mike Tellens for Mercedes.